Hey guys, this is Andy McCann coming to you from Woodstock, Georgia, where I own CrossFit Garage. And my goal is I have a couple goals. I'm going to run through all these. One, at the gym or just in life, I want to make you harder to kill and to help you look better naked. So yeah, there's that. Then we like to attract the people in that are happy, humble, helpful, and want to be healthy and fit now as well as in our 90s. So those are the things that kind of scope out, like, what are we trying to do in the mission we're trying to solve? Now, me personally, I love the idea of help first or givers give. That's why I do the podcast. So many people say, hey, I've tried to start a podcast. I got about 5 episodes in and then quit. And they say that most podcasts die around the 10th episode. You just get tired of whatever you're talking about because you're not passionate about it. I'm passionate about this 5 pillars of health and longevity. And today we're going to go over the think category, which is way down here. Where is it? Number, I think 26, slide 26 starts think. So yes, I own CrossFit Garage. Actually, let me put this in here for you. I also do a bit for the survival podcast, The Expert Council, so you can see or hear us, or I guess you can see it sort of on Thursdays. If you're not in Woodstock, Georgia, and you want to participate in what we're doing, we do put all of our workouts online. So if you go to CrossFitGarage.com/WOD, you'll see it, or you can hover over gym information and go down to WOD, Workout of the Day. You see all of our workouts, and there should be an opportunity for every workout to have an at-home option. So do it at home. Free to you. Go for it. We also have a lot of free resources that I've built up over time. When I do a podcast or y'all say a thing or whatever, I put it on here so you guys can get a hold of it. Carnivore Kickstarter, 60 Easy, 32 at-home workouts, Regain Your Mobility, podcasts, Are You Healthy quiz, workout at your desk, all this sort of stuff, right? Another one we have got for you if you aren't here is garagefitness.online. So you can do kind of what we're doing. Charles is using super new technology, AI, and all of our workouts from history to build a better, service to launch to you. So that'll be changing soon. Also, you can listen to this as a podcast and you can watch this as a video. It's at Andy McCann 42. Okay, some fun things that are coming up here. Actually, let me go through this first. So I'm going to do 2 episodes back to back because Labor Day is about to come up here and I'll miss a day. Today we're doing Think, and this will be part 5. So I know there's 5 things, but I had a starting episode, so that was part 1. And then right after this, I'm going to do, and it'll come out a week later, part 5 of the carnivore and the Crohn's challenge that Evan has been under. So we're going to go from there, and everything's going great. So this is a good, maybe not into the story yet, but very good journey. All right. Things coming up for you guys here at the gym. We do have the True Challenge. That is a novice or intermediate competition. Come compete if you're one of those. If you are an expert, come volunteer and help other people learn to love what you love. Then we have got the Bear. It's the Blairsville Extreme Adventure Race on September 20th. So a bunch of us are going up there. And then on September 20th, there's also the Savage Blitz Race. So people are going to do that too. So unfortunately the same day, but we'll be doing that. You have probably already met up front Cam Gregory, Dr. Cam Gregory. He is way into pickleball. He's now doing CrossFit, and he owns Cairo Cafe, which is up front. So there's an office if you're looking to get adjusted and more. He's up there for you. Okay, so on to these 5 pillars: how you eat, sleep, move, think, and connect. Think. So interestingly, you could do the eat thing every day and you're going to see the results, and people talk a lot about that. How you eat, now I already forgot. It's how you eat, sleep, move. Sleep, not everybody talks about. You're going to do that once a day for sure. Move, I like CrossFit. This is what we do, and you'll see the benefits. Think, not many people are going to know what you're thinking. You're going to probably hide that, and you'll be kind of on your own, having it in your head as the... What do they do? Like a old cartoon, the chicken, Foghorn Leghorn would have the devil, or maybe it was Bugs Bunny. I don't know. But the devil would be on one shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder, and he would be telling them what to do. And that's kind of where we are in Think. We want to help you think better because there is positive benefits for you to have an outlook of positiveness than an outlook of negativeness. If for the only thing of hope. So they took a bunch of mice, they threw them in a bucket. They said, swim, dogs, swim. They couldn't touch the ground. And I think in 2 hours they went under and they drowned. And so super sad. I can't believe they do experiments like that, but that's what they did. Then they said, hey, let's do the exact same thing, but about a minute 40 or an hour 45 in, let's give the mice some breathing space. Let's give them a rescue and see what happens. So they injected hope. Hey, randomly, the gods above, the humans, decided to help us. Those guys were able to swim for like 8 hours before they just gave out. So hope, at least at nothing else, lets you do more and live longer and survive better. So go for hope. On the flip side, I guess we all know this. Stress and anxiety in a hostile world will shorten your life expectancy. You're going to do things not only you'll not only for real do things like, hey, I may not go out and exercise because I'm afraid of the world, but your brain is going to be spiraling and you're going to create evils and demons that would have never existed. So that is not a good thing for you to have inside spinning around. So anyway, there are ties to a positive outlook, giving you more resilience in the life you lead. I think even the Bible has talked about this forever. It's something like, let me think if I remember this. It's something like, what a man thinks in his heart, he is, and it's Proverbs something or other. But the idea, this is the weird part for me. Yes, I am a religious guy. I'm not religious. I don't really go to church much. I've tried a bunch and they never really settle well. Anyway, but I do believe, and I've read the Bible multiple times through, I do believe. And I live out that. I think it's better to live this way than to force people or badger people. I don't know. My passion isn't for making Christians. My passion is for keeping people alive. And that's kind of what this whole thing does. Yes, I would hope that you would stay alive with some Jesus on you, but man, that's up to you. If you're not into that, then I don't know. I guess it'll be a warm place for you later on. I don't know. Anyway, my point in saying that is, yes, it's in one of the most best-selling books of all time, but it's also in a lot of this other stuff. Right here, you can see this. It's Carol Dweck's Mindset. It's in the other books that I like, The Power of Habit, Habit Circle, all that stuff. The way you think about the world really matters. Now, in the same vein of thought of that Proverbs line, they're also saying these days, if you're out speaking it to the universe, I don't know, quantum mechanics, or the angels and demons are listening, I don't know. But if you speak it out, sometimes a higher probability than never saying it, it comes to be. Now, is it because it's in your subconscious and now you're working on that? I mean, it could be. I don't know the answers to that. All I know is that some of these things really work. For example, I've done this on my own. If you have goals, you're way more likely to achieve them than people who don't have goals. I mean, duh, right? I know what I'm going for. Now, if you write them down and state them in a positive way, you're even more likely, I think it's like 90% likely going to achieve your goals if you write them down in a positive manner and saying them every day. So is that positive reinforcement inside of you? I don't know. I literally don't know the psychology of people. I will be the first to tell you that I am not great at understanding people. For some reason, I expect people to read my mind and be like, oh yeah, I totally have done all the research you've done. I mean, it's a good example. I had a conversation with the two members at the gym about how Wodify works and you log results. And I could tell that they were upset. And I'm like, I can see that you're upset. I don't understand why. It's not like you run a business or have done this and you know like all the ins and outs on it, but I see you're passionate. And so old Andy would have been like, well, I don't know, screw it. You're upset. There's nothing really I can do about it. It's your fault to be upset, whatever, and walk away. The new me says, okay, I see this. I see the tension. I hear the words. I recognize the body language, lots of training, and I'm going to ask more questions. Now, if it had been like personal to personal, I probably would have just like asked a lot of questions, left it at that. But it's a business, and I want them to understand that I just can't make stuff happen in the business because we've done it a lot of different ways, and knee jerks and things that we've changed to were because it was failing, and so we're trying to get it to stop failing. So unlike a relationship, you can just walk away. You can't walk away from the business. So I can't literally just make changes out of thin air without there being like repercussions in the service or just going out of business, right? So anyway, my point in that is listen to the people that are talking to you. Don't assume they understand what you're saying. Don't put your ideas of the thought world into them. You need to express that. Take a deep breath and ask questions. Okay, so we're going to cover all that stuff. It's super important. I know you're like, Andy, think. here's the crux of it. If you're going to listen to this part and go away, that's totally cool. If you live in a hostile world, you're going to basically die early. If you live in a friendly world, now, let me take that back. If you live in a friendly world, statistically, you'll live a longer life. Though, if you go up to a stranger in, I don't know, at 2 a.m. in a dark alley because you're friendly, that's not what I'm saying. Don't be stupid. So it's to think the world is friendly. When the guy cuts you off, is he cutting you off because he's an a-hole, or is he cutting you off because he's trying to get his wife to the hospital? All right, so it is true, just like with your body, you can strengthen and change your mind. It does take time and it does take practice. It is not easy. I think it is easier to do CrossFit than it is to actually change the way you think, because movement happens every once in a while. You think and breathe all the time, right? Thinking is just something you do. There is very few opportunities for us these days to be alone with our thoughts. It is a dangerous place. If you are not alone with your thoughts very often, that's troubling. I would say everyone go out and get alone with your thoughts. Go walk. Don't take your iPhone. I know you're like, what? I can't take my phone with me. No, leave it. Just say, hey, I'm going to be gone for 30 minutes. I'll be right back. Go for a walk. Come back. Possibly, if you could, go into nature so there's even less distraction, and just let your mind wander. If you tend towards the world is hostile, negative thoughts, that's a problem. I would talk to someone like Jamie Thomas. Let me pull her up again. She is a licensed and professional psychotherapist or psychologist or whatever the right word is. Her website is, here we go. It's foxoakcounseling.com. And she is fantastic. She will listen. And unlike many people who treat it like a job, she actually cares, which is probably a detriment. If you care so much about all this stuff, it might weigh on you. But she has got, I think the thing I appreciate most about Jamie is she will give you advice that is the correct, like, this is what you need to do, even though I personally would not do this, right? You know what I'm saying? So she will tell you, like me, this is probably why we get along so well. She will tell you the right thing to do, even though she doesn't like it. I love that. You know, and I'm not saying like, you know, what is she giving you advice she doesn't agree with or she doesn't live the life? No, sometimes we feel like, hey, just harden up. You just need to harden up. That's not great advice. I mean, yes, sometimes that's it, but she'll tell you that, hey, this is how you get there. Like I mentioned the other day about I spank my kids too much or maybe too little, I don't know, whatever. And she said, hey, another way to do it is this, and this is the way that really has shown to work well, though it's hard. So she's giving me the advice that she has a hard time following too, right? Parents will spank. That's just part of it. So what was it? It was, Jamie, I know it. If you're listening, you're like, Andy, come on, say it. It's in my head. I just can't get the words out right. In the middle of this podcast somewhere, I'll get it all together. It's like you push on the guilt factor, but I can't remember exactly where it was. But anyway, so she gives great advice. Go check her out at foxoakcounseling.com. Anyway, thinking is important. So right here do you see, or some of you see, if you're listening, you don't see it at all. Do you live in a friendly world or a hostile world? If you're going to write up your goals, which you should, and the goal could be something like, I want to have $1 million. Sure, that's a goal. That's a goal. Let's say something like you want to lose weight. So you're like, I can't eat sugar. That's okay as a goal, but it would be better stated as I don't eat sugar. So don'ts have I think it's a 66% chance or higher chance of accomplishing than a can't. So if you state a goal as a don't, I don't eat sugar. I don't spend money frivolously, right? It's an internal. Don't comes from inside, and words matter apparently. And I can't spend money, whatever. Can'ts come from the outside. Somebody else put this on me. My mom said I can't, right? So change it from don'ts to can't. Another one for getting that mindset in the right place is to be curious and not judgmental. So again, using the example of the gym. Is this a big deal? No. Did they really, really care about it? Like children's lives are on the line? No. But they're passionate, and I want to be curious about that. Like, how can I help? The problem is, I ask this a lot, and people get annoyed, so I got to come up with another way to do it. They'll say a thing, this did not happen. I'm just going to make stuff up because it's easier to pretend a story than to try to remember all the facts. So, this did not happen. I'm making this up. But let's say Tina in the gym was saying, I want Wi-Fi to be used this way. Okay. So I could just say, no, that's just dumb. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. We're not doing that. That's judgmental. Only idiots would think that way. I even feel funny saying that. That's just rude, right? So I guess one of my philosophies in life is don't be a dick. It doesn't cost you anything to be nice. Be nice. So curious is more interesting. It expands your world. So I'm like, hey, Tina, why do you think that? Because when people can't log it, then it shows that they don't care. I'm like, okay, interesting. You know that I care. Yes. Okay. So now we're curious and I've caught up and I've answered a question that she had or a assumed question like, hey, we don't care. So being curious allows you to expose questions that have maybe the incorrect answer or incomplete answers and allows you to get to it. Now, I will say this, in my 52-ish years of life, I have learned to stop solving everybody's problem, but this is a work problem, so it has to be solved. I think if this would like my kid saying, I don't know, our family sucks, I probably wouldn't give any solutions anymore. I'd say, hey, tell me more and ask questions and then leave it as that. If they said, I'm open to some coaching or give me some ideas, then I probably would do it. But I think I would let it go if it's like personal. I would just these days ask questions and let it go. So be curious, dive in, ask how questions and bring yourself together. So an old technique they taught us a long time ago in sales is when a customer has an objection, you, instead of put the objection between us, like in this case, I don't know, let's do CrossFit as a customer. So Tina comes in and says, I'd like to do CrossFit, but it looks scary. Okay, so she's on one side of the table. There's scary CrossFit and me on the other side of the table. What you're supposed to do is triangulate. So don't like go buddy-buddy beside them, but at least move away from the problem is between us. So you slide over metaphorically and say, Tina, you and I are the same. We're humans, we breathe, and we want to be fit. I can see how you see that CrossFit is scary. Many people have said that. And then you move into it, right? So basically you're not creating a bridge over it, but you're moving around it to the side of it to say, it's not me that's scary. It's the idea of CrossFit. I get it. Let's talk about it. Anyway, so when you're curious and you triangulate, you can dissolve many problems just by letting people know you care. Now, I'm sure the two folks at the gym, when they rode away, were like, Andy's such a dick. But then I went home to think about it. I actually called Evan and I was like, hey, what would you do in this case? And so he came up with a pretty good idea that we're going to try to implement. And then I let them know, so I care. Do they care that I care? Yeah, mildly. They're probably like, yeah, I care. Andy was kind of a dick, but he's all right. So I don't know. It's just that if you live in the judgmental world, then I would spend all the time like in the shower going, those two are so mean and assholey and whatever. It's not. They care. I love that they care and they're passionate. Matter of fact, when Evan and I were talking about it, I said, I love their passion for this. Yes, I think it's kind of misplaced, but I don't think they're wrong. I think it's their passion. And so we talked about it, got curious about it. I think I got some solutions that may actually work. Now, it's not going to be 100% because people, I can't even make people show up every day. So there's no way I'm going to get people to use Wi-Fi correctly. So that's just never going to happen. I am past the point of, the beatings will continue until morale improves. So it's, whatever. Morale's what it is. Okay, so the last bit on this, I'm going to move into a few other examples and stuff, is looking at the things you have to do as I have to versus I get to. I have to drive the kids to school. No, you get to. Not everybody gets to have children. I mean, some people I know, if you're a 15-year-old teenager having sex in the high school's bathroom, high school's bathroom, you're getting pregnant. If you're 24 and married and trying to have a kid, yeah, it's going to be a hard thing. I don't know why. This is how it is. So one time as a high school student, as a married person on the schedule, this is going to take a while. I don't know why that is. That's just how it goes. So anyway, you get to have a family. Reframe your world. Like we were talking, Tina in the gym. I don't remember who it was. It was Camilla. Camilla said, I hate back squats. And I feel like I have to do it. I'm like, true, but not everybody gets to. So we get to lift heavy and we have the bodies and the ability to do it. She's like, yeah, that's true. And she did some great lifts. So was it like, changing the world's perspective on her? No. But in that one instant, I think she did get a chance to see that, this is true. I may not actually like lifting heavy like this, but it's good for me. And some people would love to, and they don't get to. And that's the thing is, don't put the world on as a chore. It is a gift. Yeah, I know that's corny. Life is a gift, but it's true. And it's like this podcast. I have the note right there. I get to do this. I'm excited. I'm going to spend an hour right now or whatever it takes and another hour to do 2 episodes so that I'm caught up for Labor Day weekend. And I'm excited about it. I know there's not everybody listening to this. That's totally fine. There is somebody out there that hears and gets something. I've had maybe a handful, less than 5 people reach out that I didn't even know were listening and say, thank you. And that's it right there. So somebody's listening and says, hey, you're passionate, you care, you've got ideas that I need to hear, and it's not straight out of a book or a doctor or whatever, you're just a human living life. That is true. I am an unfrozen caveman lawyer giving you the things that I've seen throughout my life. All right. There is a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck, D-W-E-C-K, PhD, so she's a doctor. And it's a pretty good one. It boils down to this. Those that experience hardship earlier in life have the ability to persevere later in life. So grit is built through smaller adversities at younger times over time. So get your kids involved in a competitive sport where there's a tryout and they have to push and get grit to make it through the tryout. The bad thing about every sport with a tryout is there's a better team with a better tryout. So keep pushing. I would say the point of all this competitive sports isn't to get your kid into professional sports because the chances are very low. The real thing is to give them some sort of controlled life adversity for them to push against to build grit. I think it's helpful. I think it's really helped Evan in this push against this Crohn's diagnosis, which I'll talk about in the next podcast. All right. Charles, I'm going to drink some coffee by hitting pause. Jamie, yes, I'm hitting pause to drink some coffee. And actually, you know what? Jamie, for you, here's coffee real time. And it's almost empty. So I'm going to pause you guys, go get some more. But like magic, I'll be back in a second. Okay. If you're not using AI, you probably should be using it, especially if you have a business. I know. You're like, whoa, that was a big topic change. Yeah, because I went and got coffee, came back, and I was thinking about stuff. I'm going to tell you how I use it, and then I'm going to finish up this thing. So I typically have an idea in my head on a podcast. I usually jot down notes, and then I would speak off of those notes. What I now do is say, hey, make my notes sound a little bit more coherent, put them in a good order, and then give me anything else. And the stuff we've talked about over time, which I've been using ChatGPT for a long time, has got a lot of saved data. Remind me of some of the things that I've said, and just put up a bullet point. So it does. So it gives me things to remember to say to you guys that I've said before. For example, I mentioned a couple habit books. I butchered one title. I think I said it was like The Story of Habits. I don't know. It's actually James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. So this is just a good thing. It's right up here in the corner. I could grab it and pull it out, or behind me maybe. I could pull it out and show it to you. But I was like, hey, don't let facts interrupt a good story. So I just, went on. But it pulled it up and said, hey, you said this before. James Clear, Atomic Habit. Small habits compound. Mental habits are no different, right? So yes, I've said that. So small habits compound. If you floss your teeth every day, there's going to be a good effect, right? Mental habits compound. It's the same thing. If I think good thoughts, for example, between the 6 a.m. class and the 7:30 a.m. class, there's a 30-minute gap. I usually do all of my cleaning of the gym in that 30 minutes. What typically happens is I will either do class and then clean, or get there early and start cleaning and then finish cleaning and then go to class, right? So it's between there, but I'm doing the window of stuff. It's going to be almost every day, pretty much every day, clean both bathrooms and then blow out the gym, because it stinks when you're in a nasty bathroom, or if you do a burpee and you get shit in your face or whatever, right? Not literal, that'd be weird. You know what I mean? Just like dust bunnies and whatever just getting in your face. So when I'm doing those chores, one, I get to, I don't have to, I get to. And the other is I use a mental trick of, I practice gratitude, which I think is vitamin G is great. So practicing gratitude is a great way to do it, to remind you that the world is friendly. It's just, you think that they're against you. It's like when you get up to do a public public speech or whatever, and every eye's on you, and I can't do this, and they all heard me say, nobody cares. They just listen and you're done. We think they think more about it than they actually do. Anyway, I use that blowing out the gym and cleaning the toilets or bathrooms as a good opportunity to say things like, thank you for this building. Thank you for a landlord that raises the rent so that he doesn't lose the building. Thank you for bringing more people to the gym with Nick, so that I don't have to raise rates because of the landlord. Thank you for, and so I just say thank you. Me, yes, I'm thanking God, but you could thank the universe or whatever it is you believe in. I honestly, which is maybe a bad thing, I don't really care. There are other people out there that care what you believe. I'm not that guy. I care that you're not a dick and you're going to live. In that living, I mean, what do they say? Everybody believes in God when they're in a foxhole and the bombs are going off. So life will bring weird crap. You're going to find what you believe in when that weird stuff comes along. All right. Okay. So anyway, this is how I'm using AI. So another one is Carol Dweck's mindset. So yes, I read it and I give you a little quick summary of that, but it talks a lot about a fixed versus a growth mindset. And that's really what I'm saying in the be curious. When you're curious, you're going to grow what's in this noggin of yours and the possibilities, and thus build more resilience in your life. When you're fixed, you're just an ass and nobody wants to be around you. Oh yeah, so here's a good Bible verse we had to memorize in one of our Bible studies, and I probably cannot rail it off to you now, but I could at one point. So do not be conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And then it goes on, I don't remember it. But the idea is you can transform yourself by thinking. And I don't know, people are like, well, you either believe in quantum physics or God. I don't think that's true. I think God invented quantum physics, or maybe quantum physics invented God. Who knows? I'm an unfrozen caveman lawyer. The point is, your mind can be trained, and your mind wants to spiral. I mean, it's survival. It makes sense. The friendly world would not let you survive as well as a pessimistic or dangerous world. If you were always thinking, and this is if your lifespan was short, you want to have, and very dangerous out there in the world. Like, I don't know, you're a caveman and you're like, I need to not be friendly with a saber-toothed tiger. I need to worry, is it going to kill me, or is this berry going to kill me, right? So being worried will help when times are dangerous. We do not live in really dangerous times. I know you may think, oh, this is dangerous now. It's not dangerous now. You literally can walk around downtown Woodstock and throw money out. No one's going to attack you and rob you and take your money. They'll probably pick it up off the floor, but you're pretty damn safe. You could probably go down the streets of Atlanta and walk around and it'd be okay at 2 a.m. Where, a long time ago, not so much. All right, something I would suggest to you that I found great practice or great... it helped the journey a lot, but I could not sustain the habit, was journaling. If you write your stuff down, I have some journals somewhere. Yeah, they're all behind me in this. Actually, let me pull them out. I'll pause you and pull them out. Actually, you can watch me pull them out. So I've got all these journals right here. These are journals from, various things. They're just composition notebooks. Over the years, I'm 52. I should have more of those. I just don't do well with it. I do write things down. I just have a hard time ever going back or finding what I wrote. I also write kind of sloppy, and that's another problem. But I will say that it is good to get your feelings out. Unfortunately, I also enjoy talking to ChatGPT on a walk. So I guess it's journaling, sort of. It's getting it out there. The other thing that I already told you about is practicing gratitude. I think that's a great thing. Find time in your day to kind of go quiet. And don't listen to stuff. I'm always got a book or a podcast in. So let that go. And instead, speak and say what you're grateful for. And it can be the same thing over and over and over. I don't care. It doesn't really matter. I think what it's doing is helping you learn to lift mentally that weight. So it's like a back squat, except it's in your brain, which I don't know, it sounds weird, but you know what I'm saying? You have to practice. You have to get the reps in. Okay. I know there's a big part about scrolling these days. People are all over like scroll, scroll, scroll. I don't know. It depends what you're scrolling. I like looking at, I guess it's Instagram Reels. Is it? I don't know what it is. And Instagram, if you on your phone, if you click the like bottom rightish button, it gives you a play button and you just, I don't know, play some videos. I don't know if those are Reels or stories or what. I like those, and they tend to give you the ones you sit on. The ones that I like invoke awesomeness, laughter, and levity. So it likes to give me the, what is the one where like you haven't seen your dad in a while or you haven't seen your friend in a while. So it's like surprise from your friend and people get up and they hug and they cry. And, you know, some people like, instead of hugging, it's so weird to me. If, you know, Timmy shows up and I haven't seen him in a while and he's my best friend and I turn around and he's right there. And instead of like hugging them, well, some people do this. Guys usually give a big hug and they bounce up and down. Like mostly women, but a lot of guys too will like turn away and put their hands in their face and like cry. You're like, that's weird. I know you're expressing emotion, but wouldn't you want to hug them and not walk away? So it's weird that our body makes us do the opposite thing of what we want. Anyway, those get me teary and it helps me connect emotionally. I know that's a part that I struggle on, but I know that I'm alive inside because that does get me and I do get some tears. Or you see a thing like the dad says to a son or the daughter says to the dad or whatever. So the things that are, you know, pertinent in my life, I see and I get a hold of. Now I also see a lot of stupid reels with funny stuff. I'm subjected to the humor of the falls. So the old cartoons used to have like Foghorn Leghorn get an anvil on his head, and I would laugh. Well, as an adult, when people post people like doing stuff and getting hurt, I laugh. It's just probably not the right response. But I'm assuming they're posting it and they're still alive. And it's usually nothing like, I don't like it when they do a motorcycle hits a car and they like, you know, do something else. I'm like, no, don't show me that. I always scroll off of that or hit no or whatever you have to do to make that not come out. Anyway, my point is, people will say, watch out for doom scrolling. It depends. I don't know. I think it can be good for you if it's building you up and making you laugh and connecting with real emotions. Now, if it's going down the rabbit hole of there's an asteroid coming, you're going to die, or the guy that you believe is the great politician is really, you know, an asshole or whatever. I mean, all those politicians are like that. It doesn't matter who you vote for. They all do the same thing. So there. Well, let's see. We talked about, we're not supposed to talk about politics, religion, or sex. So I think I've brought them all up. So politics. If you guys ever wonder, I would be chaotic good. So a anarchist libertarian. So I would like no government, but I also want people to do the right thing, which is never going to happen. So yeah, I don't fit on any side. All right, let me go on with this. We'll get this guy wrapped up. Okay, this is a good one. And yes, I've said this before. I remember a podcast we did. So again, a great use of ChatGPT. Remind me of what I said. Put it up there as a bullet point. Now you talk about it. All it has as a bullet point is reframing failure as feedback. And yes, that's true. Failure isn't I failed. Failure is feedback. Failure is the push that you need for growth. It allows for the growth mindset. So if I'm trying to do a 1 rep max on the back squat, let's go there again. And I make every single lift and then I stop. Did I hit my 1 rep max? I mean, I don't know because I didn't fail. Failure in this case gives me that top end. Let's say I failed at 300 pounds. I just could not lift it. Now I know the next time I should get to 300 pounds faster so that I'm not as tired. And maybe that's the difference. Maybe it was like, I don't know, the 20th lift or 30th lift, whatever, for 300 pounds. I'm like, I can't do it because I'm just tired. I wasn't taking my 3 minutes of rest, right? I don't know. But now you know failure has given you a bookend. So on the other side, failure is I never even tried or my range of motion is bad. There's a failure. And then the wait. Failure is not the end. Failure is just feedback. I played a game of soccer and we lost. Weirdly, when you play a game like that, there are two teams. Both teams want to win. That's not possible. You can either tie, which nobody wins, or somebody wins and somebody loses, right? So if you, and this is a funny one. I coached competitive soccer, club soccer for a long time, and I knew this would happen. If we had a winning season, it was hard to win in the tournament games at the end because we were playing better people and we hadn't really lost. And therefore we didn't fix some of the things I needed to fix. Now, you could see them and you could tell the kids, but they're like, Coach, it didn't really matter. We haven't lost yet. Why would we change anything we do? I'm like, because you're just playing people that don't know how to exploit your weakness. Anyway, so failure is feedback. Look at it that way. It's much easier. It's harder in life and it's harder in your personal, like emotional life, but failure is feedback. Okay, so I'm going to leave you this with imparting. Your body follows your brain. Train your thoughts like you train your muscles, constantly, patiently, and intentionally. And if you don't have an intentional training program for your mind, I mean, one, I would probably do the easy thing. You know me, if you want to speed up the process, hire a coach. There it is. So go hire Coach Jamie. Not only does she coach CrossFit, she coaches the emotions. She's actually, so this is a weird thing. She and I talk about this a lot. The choices we make as a kid and then in college and then in our job. Like if we had known what we would be when we grow up, when we make different choices, I don't know. They say that like counseling doesn't pay very well. She's done a great job doing this, but I think it's probably one of the most important things we could do. People are broken. I think your health internally and your health externally, so CrossFit and the mindset stuff are some of the best things. And technically, she is doing it all. So if you actually like wanted your life to go better and you wanted a life coach, like how do I literally make my life better? I would not talk to Andy McCann. I'm a broken man and I can give you some advice, but she is actually not only living it out, but professionally living it out. So she can help you with your mental struggles, with your physical struggles, most likely even your eating struggles. If you need help, great place to go. If you're interested in personal training at the gym, several of the coaches do personal training. You can totally do that. If you're interested in nutrition counseling, several of the coaches do that. Coach Jennifer, who does Fridays, has an entire business around helping people with their nutrition. We just had a member, Scott, pause his membership at the gym to go into work with her. So he and I were talking and he said, hey, he was about to start here at the gym. So I guess he didn't pause it. He just never actually started it. He said, I really want to lose some belly fat. I said, well, that's done in the kitchen, more so here. And he's like, well, I can do one or the other. I said, I would do the other. I would go with Jennifer and work on that first and then start up in the gym. So yeah, we're going to tell you to do the right thing because the right thing is the right thing. Anyway, go connect with what she's doing. She's got doing telecommunication sales, doing, I don't know, all the stuff we do isn't as important as having your mind and your heart right. So talk to Coach Jamie. All right, let me pause this and see if I missed anything. So I'm going to leave you with this. Again, mindset, fun, laugh, right? I don't know. This is the best thing. Laughter is a great cure for many things. So if I find is again how I'm using ChatGPT and then a funny little bit. If I find a cool meme picture, whatever it is, I don't know what they call them these days, and I want to use it, usually I'll like it and sometimes I'll share it. What I've been doing lately is saying, hey, ChatGPT, I like this picture. Edit it in my normal request and then give it back to me. My normal request is like, black and white, will fit Instagram, reword it so that it's our own and we're not just stealing it. Change the people into cartoon characters, slap CrossFit Garage across the bottom. So that's the normal thing. It mostly gets it right, but sometimes it screws up. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with this. I saw this one and it made me laugh because it is true. And I wanted to change it to be CrossFit specific, but I didn't. But it says, I'm at the age where if you text me after 9 p.m., I'm texting you back at 4:36 a.m. And that is true. I sometimes get on my phone and I see the text flare up. I'm like, I was already in bed. And it's like, 5:30 or 6 a.m. I'm like, is it too early to text somebody back? I don't know really when they sent it because I usually put my phone on airplane mode, which is probably dumb because there's no way to get a hold of me besides my cell phone anymore. We took out our landline or our voice over IP line. So I probably shouldn't do that. Anyway, if the kids needed me, I guess they have to wait. It's the old school days. So back in 1975, I don't know, before 79, I probably don't remember much of 75. But in 1979, there was no way to get a hold of somebody. I guess you could call their phone and it would ring and they would hear it ring. And people weren't jerks enough to call like after hours. So if it rang at 2 a.m., something was important. Anyway, that's up there. I thought it was pretty funny. I think the other one I put up there was from the gym. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a pun that I like. If you're cross about not being fit, CrossFit, do CrossFit Garage. It wasn't supposed to say do CrossFit Garage, but I don't know. I think it was trying to say do CrossFit at the garage. I could not make ChatGPT put it together. Anyway, fun and funny way to use the systems around you, to look at the world as I'm curious, how do I do a thing, rather than hostile. All right, guys. Hey, this is Andy McCann here in Woodstock, Georgia. If you need help, give us a call. If you're local, come to the gym. If you're not, I'll do the best I can. As I've said before, if you want to hire me personally, I'm $1,000 an hour. Yes, I am that expensive, so I'm that good. In reality, I really want you to do the other thing, which is track your food and your movement for 2 weeks, and then I'll help you for free for that hour instead. You'll learn everything you need to learn in those 2 weeks. That's why I say do that. All right, guys, y'all take care.